I think they're also going to be watching that Lakers series very closely now that all those injuries occurred, because in the event that the Lakers advance, and that's a short series, they're not going to want to be playing a long series. So I think.
Oh my God, the arrogance! Watching the Lakers series, I mean, they better watch. They better watch Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox and stop letting them go by them like a bunch of turnstiles. And I love the Warriors. I've enjoyed the Warriors. You know this, Natalie. But for purposes of this here program, I'm a huge Kings fan. Oh my God, I'm a huge King. Light that damn beam, because I just want to see Natalie have to eat it.
The question, if Steph gets 5, is not about where he ranks with Magic Johnson, because Steph is a better player than Magic Johnson. It's just resume building and accolades to this point, okay? Magic Johnson is my absolute favorite player in the world. So
Doesn't sound like it.
I'm almost embarrassed that I have to say anything. I mean, honestly, I feel like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
I knew what you were doing. Oh.
Can you just walk us through what happened there?
My leg got grabbed. Second time in 2 nights. Referees just watch it. I got to land my foot somewhere. And I'm not the most flexible person, so it's not stretching that far.
So you didn't really see where you were stepping. You just kind of.
I can only step so far. I'm pulling my leg away. So it is what it is.
What was the explanation they gave? I know they gave him a technical, then obviously you too.
The explanation was I stumped too hard.
How hard was that impact? Were you surprised that he was on the ground for that long?
No, I wasn't surprised that he stayed down that long.
You said 2 times you've been held with Sabonis, both times.
No, it was Monk last game, right on the baseline under the rim. So either you're going to stop it. John Goble was looking at Monk hold my leg the last game, and he just let it go. And Zach clearly was watching my leg get held this game and let it go. So I guess ankle grabbing is okay.
What are you going to do when someone grabs your foot when you're running full speed? Like, that's a dirty... I just fully grabs your foot and yanks on you. That's not cool, man. I'm not saying what Draymond did was right, but, like, you can't just grab somebody's foot when they're taking off in a full sprint. That's not cool. I don't do that. Like, I mean, that's crazy.
Well, welcome. No. I need some more. Give me some more. I want more sound. More sound on the stop. I need more on the stop, Rita. Let's go.
From your perspective, what happened in that sequence with Draymond?
Let's play our basketball. Look at the fans. This is it, We're here to fight, so every time we step on the floor, we're going to give everything for our teammates and the franchise.
Do you have any animosity about what happened there?
Well, no, we're both fighting for the rebound, We found each other. Stuff happens. It's basketball. We got to move on next play.
I love the competition. I love the playoffs, the challenge on taking on the Warriors. I got hit earlier in the game, in the jaw there, so when I fell, I was kind of protecting myself, and then obviously the incident happened, and I feel like there's no room for that in our game today.
Draymond said that you grabbed or held on to his ankle, and he's trying to. Did that happen from your vantage
I feel like,
point?
it's the playoffs, a lot of things happen, but at that point, I get pushed, I'm falling on the floor, I'm just trying to protect myself, and then whatever happened.
Have you seen a player stomp on another player like that, and then, again, go with the crowd, stand up on the scorer's table or the bench area and do what he did like tonight? And I know you know him personally. Just what are your thoughts on that entire scene?
Yeah, I didn't see what he did afterwards, but for sure it's a flagrant 2 for sure, and it'd be interesting to see what the NBA does after they review it. But I didn't see the aftermath.
Oh, this is great. Rita, I'm here for it. The NFL chick, Reeta Hubbard, is here, does a fantastic job every time she's on Brother from Another. Good to see you, sister. It's not Thursday Eve or Friday Eve, whatever you said last time.
And it's Tuesday today.
I'm sure a party is happening wherever you are, and we just hope we get an invitation, Reeta.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
Reeta, I got to tell you, I love this. I love everything that happened last night because it reminds me when fights happen or skirmishes happen, it's not just the skirmish, it's the aftermath of the skirmish. So you saw this with Draymond saw it one way. Well, look, what happened is they got my ankle grabbed second time, 2 games. That's what happened. Sabonis is like, hey, playoffs happen. I don't know. First it was like it's just basketball. Then he was like, well, I can't remember. My memory's blurry. Then you always got to have that character. Everybody has this character in the fight who knows both sides, who's like trying to be Switzerland up in here.
Right.
This is my player. Right now, I'm coaching him now, but this dude won me championships. I ain't trying to get in the middle of it. So Mike Brown is like, well, I ain't really see it. Come on, Mike. You ain't see it. You ain't see it. I'm lying. You saw enough. The whole arena saw it.
Everybody.
Come on, bro. You ain't see it.
Come on.
So what, Reeta, you saw it. What is your takeaway from the stomp heard around Northern California?
So I guess this is a stomp gate of sorts, right? And so 2 things could be true, right? Sabonis initiated the contact and grabbed him, and that's obvious, right? We've seen it in numerous angles. And that his reaction, meaning Draymond's, was a little egregious. Now, do I consider it to be dirty? Yes, I do. Is that something that I would have done? Yes, I would have. So my thing is that, hey, listen, the reaction was a bit much, but I'm not doing that if you're not grabbing me to begin with, right? Well, Draymond, I don't know. We know how Draymond can sometimes get down, but in this case, he was not the initiator of the contact. He was just the one that ended it all, right? So I'm with Shaq, because Shaq said something similar. And my thing is that sometimes it got to get dirty. If you want to keep grabbing my ankle and not letting me go so I can move down the field, I got to do what I got to do to get you off of me. Was it right? No, but sometimes in the heat of the battle, that's what happens. So, you mentioned on your feed about a suspension or him not getting suspended. I don't see how you can really try to do a suspension. I think that the ejection is fair, but let's move on from that, right? It was not him that initiated it. He just was the one that, said, get up off me and moved on. So I think that the punishment fits the crime in the sense that Draymond was not the person that started this situation.
Right.
I think that Draymond should play the next game because this is playoffs, okay? So don't can sit here and say, well, this is playoffs and then we do this and do that, only to retract his words. But the first thing that he said was absolutely true. Look, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes that's what it is. So for them if they suspend him, to me, I don't see that the crime was worth that type of punishment. Not in this situation, this particular time.
Well, we said not in this situation. No, I mean, he did stomp on my man. It was a stomp too.
Look, he did.
Draymond, and look, and as somebody who, and I'm with you, Reeta. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. It's the playoffs. We fighting for this thing. I might have to stomp on you. I might have to, and then I'll apologize later.
You got to get.
I'll apologize later. And we all think that we're nice people. Maybe we're not as nice as we think we are. All of us. You out there too listening, you're not as nice as you think you are when you're under pressure. I realize that about myself. You realize that. Would I have done it? Probably. But Draymond, as somebody who says I would have done it, Draymond's a little disingenuous when he says, hey, listen, I can only stretch so far. I mean, my foot has to land somewhere. Yeah, your foot got to land somewhere. You ain't got to actively stomp like you trying to put out a roach or something. You ain't got to stomp on the man's chest like that. You did that.
He was real. Yeah. Now, come on now, brother. You could have just said anything else except that. You didn't even try to move your leg anywhere else except for on that man's chest. That's why people want you to be suspended. The what you said afterward was way more egregious than what you actually did, because clearly you weren't even making an attempt to do something different here. And look, I think a lot of people could relate and be like, look, I felt some type of way. If this happened 2 different days and 2 different games, I was tired of it, and I did something that was jacked up. All right, cool. But for you to try to act like there was no other place that your foot could land, to me, is just as bad as what you did, because we all saw it, okay? And you know that you could have moved your foot anywhere else. You just chose not to. If you were at least going to do something like that, Holley, you got to own it. That's my whole thing. If you're going to do something, you just got to back that sucker up.
But, I can understand why. I can kind of understand why he won't own it. There's a middle ground of not going to the ridiculous of, hey, my foot had to go somewhere, and not saying it's my fault, because if you go, it's my fault, Adam Silver would be like, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. You said it. We didn't have to do an investigation. You incriminated yourself. Thank you. All right. Now, here we go. Who's this Nat Fluential? Can you put that back up? I think I've heard of her. Very, very active on social media. Another angle. Look, I love when we get all caps. Sabonis clearly holding Draymond's ankle foot. So all of a sudden, everyone's eyesight is failing them. Now, we know he held his ankle. We know that because he got a technical for it. He did it. He held his ankle. But the reason it wasn't a double technical, because after one guy held the other one's ankle, the other dude stomped on him. And then kind of celebrated, went around and like egging on the fans and standing on tables and all this stuff. But look, I got to say this. Okay. Okay. Rita, I have great respect for the Golden State Warriors. I have told people many times, I'm going to just put my credentials out there first. I'm going to put my credentials out there of how I've been watching basketball, and I can name every champion in the history of the league. Okay, I love this game. I love champions, and championship teams that play at the highest level. I respect them. I live in a town where 17 championship banners hang above a parquet floor. Yet, the best team I've seen in my lifetime, take your pick, Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, version 1. Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, version 2. Best basketball I've ever seen. Sorry, 86 Celtics. Sorry, 96 Bulls. Sorry, 87 Pistons. Vinny's coming on. Sorry, Detroit. Always got to get in there. Detroit. Sorry, back-to-back Detroit. Bad boy Pistons. Best basketball I've ever seen. Yet, these dudes kill me. Please don't suspend Draymond, Rita. Why? Because the Warriors are greedy champions. They won't just take their 4 and say, we got 4. Isn't that great? They want to tell you, well, listen, if Draymond hadn't been suspended against Cleveland, we would have beat them. Hey, look, if Clay hadn't been hurt, or if KD hadn't got hurt against the Raptors, we would have beat them. Oh, Steph got hurt. Oh, we'd have another one. Oh, so the bubble. This.
You're an advocate of not having any excuses. Is that how I'm understanding
Right. Okay. I don't want to hear them anymore. They're so arrogant. They are. Mike was right yesterday. Natalie, you know it. They're arrogant. Can't nobody beat us. Hey, if we got all our guys, can't nobody beat us. Oh, we down 2-0, 0-2. It don't matter because we champions. You can't say anything to them. They always got an excuse for when they lose. So Adam Silver, damn it, I appeal to you and your brethren and sistren in the highest offices in New York City. Do not dare suspend Draymond Green. I don't want to hear any more excuses. We would have beat Sacramento if they hadn't messed with Draymond. No, I want the Warriors to have no excuses. As a matter of fact, if it's possible, can Mitch Richmond, can we do some low-key time travel? Can I give you Mitch Richmond in his prime coming off the bench. You can have Bernard King. Chris Webber can come back. I want you to have all the weapons that you can. Bring them all back. You can have them. World B. Free when he was with the Warriors with that funny shot. I want you to bring them all back. So I don't have to hear the excuses from the Warriors because, truth be told, Rita, last thing I'll say on this, truth be told, they're getting their asses kicked. Yes, they are.
And that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like we knew that this was going to be an issue for them because they already don't play well on the road, and now they've done nothing but continue the trend that we've seen from them all season, right? My thing is this too, though, Mike. Wasn't Silver at the game last night? Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like he was there.
Was he there?
I feel like he might spin Draymond. I feel like he was at that game last night. I could be wrong, but if he was there, I feel like he might get suspended just off of GP, just of him acting like an ass in front of him, in front of company. Okay, you acting like that.
He was there. You're right. He was there. Commissioner was there.
You got better manners than that. But yeah, I mean, listen, on the first game, I mean, the guards were just getting. I mean, they just were getting worked. And obviously the score, obviously it supported that. And then once again, obviously everything happened last night and it just turned to a downward spiral. But I'm with you. I need Draymond to be there because whatever happens, you want them to be at full speed. You want a full
be at their
squad.
best.
You don't want them to say, this is what happened. But what will happen if they lose, Mike, is that people are going to say, okay, but this is what we saw all year. And this is what we were worried about. So nothing changed. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Look at this up on the screen. Those watching Peacock TV, you can see it. You're listening on Sirius XM Channel 85. You don't see this great tweet from Mark Spears. Spears says, Warrior star Draymond Green. Warrior star? Come on, Mark. Anyway, Warrior star Draymond Green asked for an x-ray on his right ankle after the Game 2 loss to the host Kings after feeling soreness. Source confirmed to Anscape at ESPN. Source adds Green believes the injury came when Kings star Domantas Sabonis grabbed his ankle before the stomp. Okay, now look. What you have here, you have multiple levels of shade going on. You got multiple levels. So for those of you in law, there's a suit and then there's a counter suit.
Yep.
Okay, somebody coming at you. Oh, for real? You taking me to court? You gonna have papers on me? I got papers on you. I'm gonna call my own attorney. I'm gonna get papers on you. I'm not gonna let you be the victim. I'm gonna be the victim too. That's one.
I ain't even mad at that though.
Two. It's kind of an excuse. Setting it up. Look, if you don't play well, if he's not suspended for Game 3, doesn't play well in Game 3. Draymond, what happened out there? Hey, listen, I gave it my best. I was fighting out there, but my ankle, because Sabonis was grabbing my ankle.
Yeah.
He grabbed it in 2 straight games, and I'm not quite myself. I'm not feeling it.
And here's the thing too.
I'm gonna say this. Hey, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna say this real quick, Rita. I used to go to a church where they would stretch their hands towards you when they're praying for you. They stretch their hands for you and they say, hey, pray for this brother as he goes for a job interview. You got it. There it is. Stretch your hands toward him. I'm going to stretch my hands toward Draymond's ankle, bruh. I'm calling for a healing right now on your ankle. I want you to play. I want you to play 48 minutes. If it goes to OT, I want you to play 53, double OT 58. I don't care. No more excuses because when the Warriors go down, and Natalie, they going down.
So this
Natalie,
is a win.
they going down.
You're claiming this.
It's
you know
obvious.
why this
They're
may
not the
happen
better
too?
team.
You know why this
They're
may
not the
happen?
better team.
At this moment they're not. And this is why too. This is interesting too because I don't believe the Warriors have ever started 0-2 in the playoffs.
They haven't. First time.
Okay.
First time since 07. Different era.
Ever. So now they're against the ropes. Now they're on defense, right? And I'm curious to know, how do you rebound? And now everybody, you're used to being the guys on offense. You're used to being the hunted. And now you're the ones that have to switch that around. So I'm curious to know how you rebound from something like that. This has never happened to you before. How are you able to deal with that? And because it's never happened, we don't know. And the fact that, if they got to win, they got to win 4 games, which means they have to go back to Sacramento. Back.
That's right.
And we know how that's worked out so
Rita,
far.
I'm going to say thank God for the remote workplace. I don't have to see Natalie at the next cubicle. Thank God.
Leave Nat alone.
All right. All right. So listen, good stuff here. Vincent Goodwill, our guy from down the hall. He's going to join us next on Brother from Another to talk about the stomping.
You do this as long as we have, and whatever it is, 28 series or whatever, and we've never been in this situation. So, got to stay together, stay locked in on things we need to do better, embrace the challenge of protecting our home court, which you've done great all year. And at the end of the day, all we got to do is, win one game here, somehow, some way, whatever game it is. So, that's the old saying, the series doesn't start until somebody wins on the other team's home floor. If we want to, get ourselves back into it, it's going to start with a focused effort on Game 3 at home and, get our crowd into it early and try to throw the first punch in terms of, how we come out with the right intentions.
Vincent Goodwill, I've never liked that old saying, well, a series doesn't start until you win on somebody wins on your floor. No, the series started. There are 5 games left, potentially. And it started. I watched it. I watched 2 games. So this is what I want to know from you. Sacramento, not the same old Sacramento Kings. So that storyline is out, the narrative of Sacramento being overwhelmed by the big bad Warriors. Sacramento not being able to win a close game. That narrative is out. They won 2 close games. They've never been in the playoffs before. They might be wide-eyed. No. So what they gonna say now? What does it take for the Warriors to truly get back into a series against an opponent that I think is better, Vinny? What do you say?
I don't know if they're better. What I will say is they've dictated the terms of engagement for the first 2 games in this series. Like, I don't know the exact numbers, but doesn't it give you guys the feel that Sacramento jumps ahead and Golden State is playing from behind? They're trying to catch their breath. They're trying to get the pace. Like, you can't dictate pace in a playoff game if you're playing from behind. You can't slow Sacramento down or force them to play a little bit faster than even they want to play if you are playing from 5, 7, 9 points behind all the time. Like Steve Kerr said, hey, all that happened and we were still in a 1-point game with 3 minutes left. Look at everything that had to happen to get you to that point. And sometimes you're so exhausted by the chase that you don't have anything left to close. Now for Sacramento, it's a matter of them being able to go on the road in a hostile environment and winning. But they have, I think, a 25-16 record on the road. They're not inept. Like, that defense, I don't think is going to necessarily travel in the same way. But Golden State's decision-making, both practical decision-making and let's just, shall we say, aerodynamic decision-making has been lacking a lot. And I don't believe in the whole adage, the series doesn't start until the home team loses. I do believe in the adage, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face or kicked in the stomach.
That is so true, man. You mentioned in your latest article that, it looks like when you listen to a podcast that's at 1.5 speed faster than what you're normally, listening to. And that's what you see in the Sacramento Kings and what they're doing right now. So is it that you feel that their game plan is basically just punching Golden State in the mouth where it hurts, where they know that they can attack and they've been consistent in that? Or is it just the fact that Golden State's continuous woes on the road has just trended with them into the playoffs?
Reeta, it's been both. To be perfectly honest, it's like the styles make fights. And the Sacramento style of playing fast and playing faster plays right into the Warriors' hands of not being able to corral a team on the road and establish any type of defensive identity. Remember, you got Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, Gary Payton II on the floor. 3 really good defensive players. Most teams don't have that level of depth in terms of defensive personnel, and they're still getting torched. You're putting Andrew Wiggins on De'Aaron Fox, and he's knowing exactly where he wants to get that pull-up shot or to get that step back. They don't have an answer to this point. Now, to your point, will Sacramento be able to maintain that pace on the road? Will they be able to dictate the terms on the road? If Steph and Clay and Jordan Poole, like, I don't know, have y'all seen Jordan Poole? I feel like he's on like a milk carton. I didn't see him at all.
I saw him doing his free throw miss dance, his little free throw miss thing last night with Sabonis was at the line. I saw him for that.
Look, at a point when you get paid what Jordan Poole has gotten paid, it becomes incumbent upon you. You can't just be the young guy where everything you do is gravy. They're heavily dependent on you to make plays, to play maturely, to play and comport yourself like a champion. Like, we can't treat everybody with the kid gloves anymore. We've said that Jordan Poole's the type of player that earns a certain level of contract, and that, he's got to be protected and promoted and everything else. And he's certainly had the production and the consistency and showing up that does it. But you can't go 1-7 on the road when your team needs you and you're down 1-0. There needs to be expectations that parallel with the production, that parallel with your paycheck.
100% right. Now, you talked about the defensive players that the Warriors have. They are very good defensive players. Those 3 that you mentioned, particularly Draymond, we'll come back to him in a second, but they're not necessarily great matchups. It's like, I'll use the extreme example. All those years, Rudy Gobert was Defensive Player of the Year. Okay, but if you put him in certain situations, that don't mean a damn thing because it's not a good matchup. I feel like their matchups are not necessarily great, especially on Fox. Fox is just coolly going, and he knows where he wants to go. He knows he can get there, and it's just a matter of the shot going in. It's not even a contested shot sometimes. It's just like, oh, I'm going to make this or I'm not. But Draymond is different than the other 2. Draymond is an elite still defensive player. He's an elite, advanced, graduate level, maybe even PhD in defense. What did you think of what he did last night? And do you think a suspension is justified for Game 3?
I don't think he'll get suspended for Game 3. And maybe the ejection is the way to split the baby, because if he doesn't get thrown out in Game 2, I think you might wind up going back and re-adjudicating it and saying, okay, you need to sit. I think the flagrant 2 for that will suffice, right? Now, the play itself. These athletes are finely tuned machines, right? They know how to get their foot in and out of the restricted area, that little bit of strip of white line inside the paint, right? They know how to step exactly right outside of it. And you can't find a way to miss a guy's whole torso? I'm not saying that Draymond Green, that I wouldn't have the same inclination as Draymond Green if someone grabs my leg. Remember, I'm from Detroit, where Ndamukong Suh did the A-Town stomp on anybody and everybody whenever he had the chance to extricate it. What did he say? I was trying to extricate myself. That sounds like Draymond Green, except he got caught. And to me, the bigger thing was a couple of plays before, he hip checked Sabonis. They caught a foul on Draymond. They rescinded it when they looked back at it. And I think at that point, there was no more benefit of the doubt. We're looking at both of you guys. I think it's a little gamesmanship. It's a little bit of gamesmanship in both ways, because Sabonis acted like he had gotten the Drew Hill 2-step stomp. Tell me what you want. Like he had just had Cisco and all of them doing the hop throughout the entire course. And don't get me wrong, Draymond got him, but he acted like a sniper was attached to that foot. So there's some gamesmanship there. But for Draymond, you've got to exercise better decision-making. Your team needs you. And because you've done it so many times, sometimes you might tend to think that you can get away with it, or your team will write checks you'll write checks that your team doesn't, that your team has to cash. And last night, it came back insufficient funds.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that, I understand Draymond's response to it. And I mentioned in the last segment too, Vince, that I probably would have done the same thing. But ultimately, you do have to have some restraint because it is the playoffs and you don't want to hurt your team by not being available for them if it's not a health reason. And I think that he's just his own enemy at times when it comes to things like these. He just doesn't really know when to just hold them, fold them, you know what I'm saying? And in this case, he was like, well, it happened to me in yesterday's game or the last game. It happened to me again. Now today I'm not going to be able to find a space outside of his chest to land my foot to make to say, hey, stop it. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I do think that I want to switch gears though, guys, if I can. What do you guys feel about the charging situation that's going on? Because obviously we've seen the injuries to Ja Morant and Giannis over these charges. And so now they're having conversations about penalizing them or changing the rules per se. And I'm just curious to know how you guys feel about that.
I'm from the old school, right? Like all these games of 150 and 160 points, I don't know if I really like that so much. I'm not saying give me ugly bully ball, but you got to give the defenses a chance here. And for Ja Morant, it was less about running into Anthony Davis than it was you jumping recklessly as hell in the air with no plan. And God forbid, y'all, we question Ja Morant's decision-making because we all know that's been pristine throughout the course of the past year.
Shot.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
lies don't care who tell it and neither do the truth. I do think you got to give defenses a chance. You can't put your hands on players. Now, do I think sliding under a guy, you know what I mean? Like clipping a guy's legs, like that sort of thing, that's dirty. But in terms of just your job is to impede the progress of someone using whatever legal methods and sacrificing your body. Look, that's just as tough on the person who's taking a charge as it is the person who's jumping in the air. That's a body contact with no protection. So I do think unless you're going to give the defense some advantage, you can't sit somewhere and take away every mechanism for them to play defense.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm not trying to watch NBA Jam.
I agree with you, Vinny. Look, like George Karl used to have some crazy ideas, some really crazy ideas. One of them was, I remember him saying back in the day, we should reward more than 2 points for an uncontested dunk because it's so hard at that time. It's so hard for an NBA player to get an uncontested dunk. You know how hard that is? His point is defense was at a high level and guys really weren't running free. I get it. But the point is, we're so used to the opposite now. We're so used to guys just flying through the lane and getting whatever they want and guys getting dunked on. Sometimes they don't jump, they step out of the way. I like that there is still space for some resistance if you're about it. Now, everybody ain't about it. Vin, you watch this sport. Some guys are not trying to go in there and take that body contact. They'll flop. But to actually take it where you are rewarded with a charge, a lot of people don't do it. So
hey,
I like
was
to
George
keep that in
was
place.
George on drugs when he said that?
But probably.
Was he on that Don Nelson goat weed or something like that when he said that?
Listen, he spent a lot of time in places where he did coach in Denver for a while, right? Denver was ahead of the rest of the country when it came to like little cannabis. The rest of us are a little late, but Denver, Boulder, they were far ahead of everybody. Oh, we can go ahead and smoke it. They smoke it outside. Ain't no big deal. It's legal. So probably. Let me ask you this. Switching to another series. You mentioned Giannis on the he came up on that block charge thing. Giannis goes down in that Miami game. Miami wins it. They're up 1-0. Do you think this is a real series or was it just an aberration on Sunday?
It's both. It is a real series and it is an aberration because the Miami Heat are not your typical AFC. The problem the Heat have is who's their third best player because Tyler Hero is out for that series with a broken hand, broken wrist. And let me tell you, as somebody who has broken his wrist playing basketball, you ain't coming back from that. Ain't a drug, legal or not, in the world that's going to bring him back in this series. He's already been ruled out. Giannis, I think the biggest thing for them will be not necessarily getting out of this series because I don't think the Heat will have enough. It is how much energy they will have to exert to get to the second round, where you will play either the bruising New York Knicks or the explosive Cleveland Cavaliers. You need to basically conserve as much energy as you can to get through this. It's not about winning the series to me. It's about getting out of it in 5 games and 6 games and not playing extra games and getting your rest and being able to recover while some of these other bloodbaths are going on. And I think Giannis has been battling injuries all year, knees, hand, wrist. Now it's his back. It's just a function of the way that he plays, and that's not going to change. You do worry about a cumulative effect with him because you don't think of him as being an old player. He's not, but he's been in the league a decade. Those things start to take hold, and just because LeBron is in year 20, don't mean everybody else's body is built for 20 years.
How about it? I agree with that. And flipping to the other side in terms of injury, even though Paul George has been ruled out for that series against Phoenix, the Clippers came out and won that game in game 1 in Phoenix. And now you have an opportunity, if you're Phoenix, to try to, even the kill in game 2. But do you feel like that was the same thing in terms of what we just talked about in the last series where, game 1 was just what it was, and then Phoenix finds a way to kind of get their feet back on the ground?
It could be if the Clippers didn't employ a man named Kawhi Leonard.
Well,
you know what
true.
I mean?
Well,
that is a bad boy. Like your hope for Kawhi Leonard is to hope that he missed. You're not taking the ball from him. You're not forcing him into a bad shot. You are only hoping that he misses or that he's having an off night. The best player on the floor can usually get you a game. Are we sure that is Kevin Durant? I think it's Kevin Durant.
Wait a minute now.
I do. I think it's Kevin Durant. But ask Kawhi Leonard who the best player in that series is. Ask Kawhi Leonard who can carry a team in this particular situation. And then you look over on the other side, you got Ty Lue, who I think is the best in-game coach in basketball. And then you got Monty Williams, who I think is really good, but I'm not sure if he's at the Ty Lue level. Kevin Durant can't go the last 6 minutes and take one shot on that team when you and I both can't name the Suns' 4th best player.
Valid.
Oh, I like it.
This was the matchup I was intrigued. I was intrigued about this matchup. This is the one that I wanted to see the most because the Phoenix Suns haven't really played together due, injuries and such. So I was concerned about how they would look coming out because I don't know if there's chemistry there. I mean, we know that Booker and KD like each other, but in terms of on the court, we just really didn't know what the chemistry was like. So this to me was probably one of the matchups that I was interested in the most.
Rita, you're so
there.
right. The point that you just
right
made
now,
about
right?
Yeah. I'm here game 2 tonight. Like wherever it's snowing out here back in the Midwest. It ain't snowing here. I'll just say that it is not snowing here at all. It is 80-something degrees. But to Rita's point, Rita said, "Look, you don't know how KD and Booker and this team that's been put together handles adversity. Yeah, they've been 8-0 since KD was in the uniform, but they didn't go through real tests. The regular season is supposed to give you a little bit of everything. You're supposed to cruise. You're supposed to have some adversity. You're supposed to hit a little turbulence. This is the first turbulence that this team has hit since they've gotten together. And I was here for the Phoenix Suns' last playoff game last year where they got beat by 30 in a game 7. I still think there's some scar tissue for this franchise, and they better get their SHIT in order tonight."
Oh, you might as well say it. You just spelled it out. You ain't saying ish or there. You know what? You just go ahead and spelled it. So you might.
I got a 4-year-old nephew. I'm used to spelling stuff out as opposed to saying it. My bad.
And now he'll be like, "Okay, I got it." You thought I was gonna stay 4 forever? You thought I couldn't spell? Uncle Vinny? Is that what he call you? Uncle Vinny? Uncle Vincent? What do he call you? Uncle V?
Uncle Vinny. That's the word.
That's what you are now, Uncle Vinny.
Well, when you come back from the desert, he's gonna be spelling, and you're gonna have to deal with his parents because he's gonna be cussing too. Okay, so
hey, that ain't my
Uncle
kid.
Vinny's fault.
Yeah,
exactly. See, that's what uncles do. Uncles and aunties do that stuff. Drop in and drop out.
I would love to know, the people who, back when Jalen Hurts come out in college, that had this pegged for him, because This is just incredible. Like from start to finish, freshman year at Alabama to now, it's like one of the more inspiring stories that I've seen in the NFL. And I really hope they can keep that core around him because he's been a whole lot of fun to watch. And obviously just led them to the Super Bowl. So it's hard to say that, he shouldn't get this money. And I think that this is going to end up working out for the Eagles if they can continue to keep drafting him.
That is Charles McDonald talking about the deal that caught us all by surprise, and not because he didn't deserve it. I'm talking about Jalen Hurts. Not that he didn't deserve it, but we just didn't see that one coming. Great deal for Hurts. He is with Philadelphia on paper for the next 5-year extension. $179 million guaranteed. Charles McDonald, I like the word you use. One of the more inspiring stories. Me too. I'm inspired by Jalen Hurts. I'm inspired by Jalen Hurts and his agent, Nicole Lynn, female agent, reaches out to him. Do you have an agent? If not, holler at your girl.
In
He
DM,
does.
in DM on Instagram, by
In
the
a
way. Don't
DM.
leave that part.
Right.
My favorite
That's
part.
right. And here you are. You have this great contract for both of them. What is the most inspiring? I know there are many points of inspiration, Charles. What is the most inspiring part of this player or this contract to you?
To me, it's where we were this time last year, especially coming off of that Bucs game where Jalen didn't play so well. They didn't score a whole lot of points, and they got booted from the wild card in the first round of the playoffs. Just think about this time last year. There are people saying, "Hey, if this Jalen Hurts thing doesn't work out, the Eagles, they're going to have 2 first-round picks in the 2023 draft to potentially trade up to get a quarterback, whether it's Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, and now we have Anthony Richardson and Will Levis in the mix now." No one's saying that, obviously, anymore, especially once you go blow for blow with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, and then you come back and you get this massive $50 million per year contract. I think just the progress that his story and his play has made over the past year or so has been incredible, because he went from potentially, we're not sure if this guy's going to be the future of the franchise, to, he's locked in as a starting quarterback for the next 5 years for sure. There's no way anyone's going to replace him.
I agree. And also, too, this is what happens when you put guys in place to help these guys develop. They went out and drafted a Devontae Smith, but then they also traded for A.J. Brown. And then their running game is really good as well. So when you invest in your quarterback and put pieces around him, to me, Jalen Hurts is what you see when you do that. Now, obviously, we know that at Alabama, he didn't, they had some struggles, and Tua eventually replaced them, and he transfers to Oklahoma, and he had some success there, obviously not, national championship worthy, but he played really well. But for me, this was good to see, because I really felt like he's always had talent. And when you put talent around him, he's giving you results. Now, obviously, they didn't win the Super Bowl, but you have to feel confident in what they could potentially do if they keep adding pieces to help Philadelphia get over the hump.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't his fault they didn't win the Super Bowl, right?
Right,
he caught all those yards.
Well, 7 of those points was his fault. We can't forget
That's
that.
fair. Yeah. That's fair. That is fair. But he's played incredible, and I honestly think he might be one of the most improved football players that I've seen just in general, from where we saw him at a freshman at Alabama, where you start looking at the draft type a little bit early on some of these guys. And I remember back when Jalen was a freshman at Alabama, it was he's a nice little college player, but he'll probably have to move positions in the NFL, and then he gets replaced by Tua. Eventually moves on to Oklahoma, where he puts up crazy numbers under Lincoln Riley, and then the Eagles now. So I think it's, like I said before, I think it's inspiring. I kind of think it's just one of these, if you just kind of put your nose as a grindstone and keep going, anything's kind of possible for you, because I don't know how many people have pegged this as possible for Jalen Hurts even a year ago.
And also inspiring, get yourself an all-female management team if you can. Okay, if you can. Look at this. This is just great. It's great for them in this male-dominated space, and it's great for him, this player who did answer that DM, took a chance, and look, it worked out for him beautifully. Here's the thing. Another aspect of this, besides this great management team that we see here on the screen, he got $179 million guaranteed. And lots of love for Jalen Hurts. But They've been in the playoffs twice under him. They've been to the Super Bowl once. He is not an MVP, regular season, or Super Bowl MVP. And he's getting $179 million guaranteed. My point is, this is a great starting point. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I keep trying to help Lamar. He doesn't want my help.
We all are trying to help Lamar.
Charles, he doesn't want your help, Charles. Reeta Hubbard is the NFL chick right there in his city. He don't want her help either. Okay, if you get $179 million and you got Jalen Hurts, so now everybody else on that list, Mahomes is saying, okay, I know I got my deal, but okay, it's good to know. Good for me. Joe Burrow coming up. This is good to know. It's a good starting point for players who are better than Jalen Hurts. And not that there are many of them, but there are some players, some quarterbacks who are better. And if you can get $179 million guaranteed, Charles, you're not that far away from $189 million guaranteed. Now you're getting up to $200 guaranteed in some of these new deals.
Right.
And if you're really a younger player, 25, 26, and you take the guaranteed money now, if you got a little bit of game, just a little bit, you ain't got to be outstanding, but just pretty good. There's more where that came from. My point is, Lamar Jackson is looking for a guaranteed contract. It's staring him right in the face, but maybe not on the terms that he wants, but it's right there for him. Or am I just being too optimistic?
Look, I think at this point, it's all about what Lamar wants, right? Because I first of all, I applaud him for trying to get this fully guaranteed contract done, because it's just so much punishment on your body to leave dollars on the table. I applaud the fight. I hope he gets it done. But at the same time, there's a point where you're looking at the guarantees on these deals, right? And it's not even like you have to be a better player than Jalen Hurts. You have to be the next guy up on the contract demands. So it's Lamar, it's Justin Herbert, it's Joe Burrow. Like all of these guys, now that they have the Jalen Hurts contract in hand, they should be asking for something close to $200 million guaranteed. And I say this to Lamar, I know you want the $230 million guaranteed or the 100% guaranteed contract, but there's a point like where you're looking at this from a practical sense, right? Someone's gonna offer me close to $180 million guaranteed. How many times can I keep saying no? And we're just built different, right? Because I wouldn't have the heart to keep this fight up. I wouldn't.
but Reeta, you gonna get it. He's gonna get it just by being a good player. I mean, it's not framed the way he wants, but it's gonna happen if he lets it happen.
Yeah, but here's the thing, guys, and I think this is the part too that we're missing out of all of this. Lamar has already missed a lot of money off the table because at 2021, he should have probably gotten a deal. Now, I have no problem with him fighting the fight, whatever that is, if that's getting fully guaranteed contracts, but you got to get your money when you can. And that's my issue with all of this, right? Because the NFL is a league that we obviously know one injury and that's it for you. You might not see the field again. So you have to get when you get an opportunity to cash out at any moment, you have to take that. After his 2020 season, I don't understand why they did not say, let's get a deal done, a short-term deal, and or a 5-year deal, but at 3 years, we'll come back to the table and renegotiate. So now when you start looking at what Josh Allen got, there's about 80 million or so that he's already not gotten simply because we're playing this, well, let's see what this quarterback market thing is doing. The owners already told you they're not doing Deshaun Watson again. And this is what, the 6th contract, guys, since the Deshaun Watson deal that's been done. The trend is that they're not doing it. So now you've missed out on all of this money previously, because after 2023, he should have been back on the table looking for a new extension. And now he's missed out on so much money because whatever the plan was just isn't working. We're at $32 million now, and you should have deserved way more money than that. And everybody, I'm sure, agrees with that.
Yeah, as far as guaranteed money goes, it just depends, like, how high does the average per year need to be? Because now we hit 50, right? With the Jalen Hurts deal. And that should be the baseline for the Lamar deal. But, you know, you start looking back, it makes me think of the other contracts. Like, what is Patrick Mahomes thinking right now when he's looking at the guaranteed money? He's
but correct me if I'm wrong, right? His contract is fluid, right? They can go at any time and give him money. So he can. That's a different type of situation, the way it's structured. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, right. I'm just saying, he looks at, he sees the seventh, sees what, himself seventh in terms of guaranteed. I gotta get that fixed, buddy. But, you know, you even look at the Josh Allen contract, and it's been passed over a couple times since then. I just kind of wonder what the Ravens are doing. Like, you talk about a couple of years ago, that's when you try to lock someone like Lamar Jackson down. You know, you try to get the extension done then, and then, like you said, this time, you know, when you get to this point in the timeline, you have some flexibility in how you want to handle the rest of it. But I do think it's a good thing for Lamar, just in terms of like average money per year and the amount of money that's possible for him. Like that Jalen Hurts deal, I think is going to end up being good for him in the long term. It just matters what percentage of guaranteed money would actually be acceptable for you to sign a deal and kind of move on from this situation.
Last thing I'll say, Reeta and Charles, is that, you know, Charles Robinson, your pod mate, Charles said yesterday, hey, parents, don't let your children play running back. Okay, sure. But you should encourage your children to play quarterback, because if I'm a quarterback, I'm one of these quarterbacks in the draft. You already mentioned a few of them, Charles, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. I'm like, okay, first contract's gonna be nice, but if I got a little bit, if I can just play it, if I can sling it, yeah, it's gonna be good for me. The salary cap's going up. Everything. League is healthy. Commanders went for $6 billion plus. I'm good, and I play the right position. You got anybody in your family, Charles, who play quarterback?
No, I don't. But we're gonna work on some of these baby cousins and stuff, you know, because I know that I don't plan on working until I'm 80. So we're gonna have to get in the backyard this summer. But all you gotta do is be as good as Ryan Fitzpatrick, man. That's it. That's all you gotta do.
Hey, man. Hey, or if there's quite a few guys you could be. There's quite a few quarterbacks.
Blaine Gabbert just got signed.
Hey, it's a great,
you could be
great
Chase
place
Daniel
to be.
if you want to be. You could be
sure.
Tyrod Taylor if you want to be. It's a lot of guys you could want to be, honestly, that got paid.
Just hang around. Hang around. Hang around. Be supportive. Don't be a jerk. And throw the football every now and then. Maybe throw the football,
That's right.
2 or 3 times a week. Good to see you, Charles.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Reeta, I'm having a little bit of a crisis here at the end of the show. Just thinking about what I just said to Charles McDonald. And I got it all wrong as a father. I got 3 kids. I wanted them to be well-balanced individuals. I should have just put a football in their hand. Throw the football. Throw it. Forget about it. I don't care if you can walk yet. Just throw it.
Baseball. We could use more black baseball players. You know, something. Same. I could have done the same thing too, Mike. And maybe it's us. Maybe it's us.
And here I am getting caught up in the reading, writing, arithmetic hype. That's overrated. That's overrated. Throw the football, damn it.
Throw the football.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.